I guess I left in 2010. I followed that guy. He did a lot of hard work finding an interesting place to go, and I just went after him. But no, we're at Delphix, building database virtualization on top of Lumos and Solaris derivatives. So we're able to pursue a lot of the work that we set out to do in Solaris and at Sun. We have converted to the dark side of management, both of us now. I'm VP of engineering, Adam is CTO there. After spending many years in engineering, we are now not engineering. In terms of like, what we,
I mean, I think
you have to. You're like, I'm becoming roundhouse here.
I think the most exciting thing I've seen from kind of the technology that we've built, that was the outgrowth of stuff we did at Sun and Open Solaris and Lumos. Just backing up, Delphix was founded in 2008, long before any of us joined, and ZFS was a fundamentally important technology for Delphix. We build virtual databases, and a big component of that is writable snapshots and clones. Without ZFS, without a freely available open source file system that could do those things, the company really would not have gotten started. I mean, think about it. If it's 2008 and you want to take a snapshot and clone of something, you're kind of stuck, I don't know, like building on top of NetApp FlexClone, and you'd be crazy to start a company that was so tied to whatever. All kinds of crazy companies get started. But it would be a really hard sell. So ZFS was really important technology. We showed up in 2010. Delphix had, in 2010, we were still shipping stuff based on a CD that was cut by Sun in 2009. I'm not making this up. It was very strange. And since then, we have had a really interesting focus on ZFS. And in particular, when we're building ZFS and Solaris, or working on ZFS in the Fishworks group for the ZFS storage appliance, the Sun Storage 7000 series, which I almost forgot. We cared about all workloads. So if something was broken on some workload, often we would we would work on it, but we wouldn't work on it so hard. Things would, we'd try to make it better. But at Delphix, what we care about is database workloads. So we work on database workloads really, really hard, and have shored up a lot of shortcomings of ZFS that have existed since it shipped as part of Solaris in 2006, or part of Fishworks in 2008, or when we left Sun in 2010. Stuff like, ZFS performs terribly when you are running out of space. It performs even worse when you have really Swiss cheesed your disk. It performs even worse when you're using small records, the kind of records you might have on a database. So we found out all of these kind of horrible things, but my favorite of them is the ZFS write throttle.
I know you were going to read.
Aware of the ZFS write throttle?
Woo!
Okay.
That's the right
this is great.
The cloud loves write throttles.
The write throttle. So it's important, right? So you want to make sure that your ingest rate is slow. You want to make sure that you don't just consume all of system memory and then have to slow down writers, but that you kind of slow down your input rate to match what you can write out to disks. And I think we stumbled onto this at Fishworks. We kind of found this the hard way.
Oh yes.
And so what was built was this. It was
No, the write throttle. That's not
that pre-existed.
We didn't.
That definitely predated us.
Oh really? Okay. So what the write throttle?
Are you talking about the old right throttle?
No, there's
Oh, that one was a piece of shit.
Not what was the term for the Logzilla latency?
Oh dear lord, the
What's
killer
that called?
The
databases.
ones that were latency,
Yes.
which
That were triggered by the write throttle.
Oh, just data.
Yeah, the picket fence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so the ZFS write throttle would do this very strange thing where it would try to guess how much data you could have in one transaction group based on a certain amount of time. Let's say it was a gigabyte. When you started getting to within 7/8,
I will thank you to pull out Mark Baby's ass.
That's right. I think it might have been Rock Burbaniz's ass. I don't know. I don't know whose ass exactly it came out of.
There may
I think
be
it was,
multiple assholes on that.
yeah,
You want to send that one to a line.
And when it got to within 7/8 of that limit, which was computed based on kind of nonsense data, it would insert 1 tick of delay, 10 milliseconds of delay.
Makes sense. Move on.
Like, makes sense. And then when you got to the full limit, it would pause. It would just like stop until the transaction group was ready to go. So what we
Even
saw.
if there was only a single fucking process on the
Yes,
box.
everyone's set, okay? A lot of this is a story of sadness, okay? So what we saw at a bunch of Delphix customers is this awesome trimodal distribution. So writes would look like this. Either they would be like microseconds, or kind of 10 milliseconds, one tick, 10 milliseconds of course, or like 4 seconds. Seconds. And you know, it would kind of average to something like 16 milliseconds. You're like, oh, that's not so bad. But you know, as Brendan has taught us indelibly, you know, the mean, you know, what does the mean mean? That lovely blog post, but the average really was not the important thing. So one of the, I think, exciting things we've done recently in ZFS is to rewrite the right throttle in something that we hope is better, but we haven't really deployed that widely.
Can hardly be any worse.
Hardly could be anywhere. That's so not true. That's so deeply not true. So we've done a lot of exciting stuff in the world of ZFS in particular, but then just, you know, we're about 80% of the software that's written at Delphix, 90% of the software that's written at Delphix is not in the operating system. It's in our Java management stack. It's in interacting with all of these crazy systems, doing performance analysis. Like worse than Linux, Brendan, we're doing performance analysis on HPUX, which has like it has one tool and nobody knows how to use it.
And apparently one user.
You know, fewer users by the day, but we have AIX users. There's also terrible analysis tools for that. The great thing, the AIX documentation is completely outstripped its implementation. If you read the AIX documentation for its performance tools, there's a really rich set of documented performance tools that have not been implemented in any version of AIX, as far as I can tell.
I'm impressed.
What else have we got?
I mean, shout out to other Solaris alums at Delphix, Matt Aarons, George Wilson, Seb Roy, John Kennedy,
That's right.
folks outside of Solaris.
Yeah, we got guys like
We're highly offended that they're not here tonight.
Guys like Don
Don
Deal
Deal.
and Christian Rasmussen,
Funny.
Funny and Mantha, lots of former Sun folks who keep on coming our way.
Yeah, I think something that's not in the technology but is in our company is the culture and the ethos of Solaris. That was, you know, for someone coming out of college, I have no fucking idea how software engineering works, and I didn't really know what I stumbled into in the Solaris kernel group, and just the environment that, you know, really values individual innovation and values engineering ownership of the totality of the problem space. And that was something that we learned in Solaris, we iterated upon. Fishworks became a very central part of Fishworks, and I think we brought to Delphix, others have brought to Joint, but has really formed a very crucial part of our culture. So on top of just the technology, just the debt we owe to
That's right.
what Brian and people who came up before us built at Solaris was really important.
Yeah, I would also give a shout out. I think both of you guys have done really interesting stuff in terms of how you maintain that culture and build it. I thought your piece on hackathons was terrific. Schrock definitely has been an inspiration for us here. We're going to do our first company-wide hackathon.
I will point out something that a very small group of people here will appreciate was a hackathon project that Jeremy Jones, who came from VMware, did. Those of you who have used VMs, there are features to dump a snapshot of the VM state for VMware, those VMSS files. And debugging like early boot hangs in VMs was like the worst possible thing in the world. I'm sure you guys have done much worse. And when it's VMware and you have no control over that software, no insight into that software, you are just fucked. And you know, they can generate these core files, but it's proprietary and no one knows. And Friday, Jeremy demonstrated taking a VMSS core, running MDB VMSS file, and just using MDB.
That is cool.
So it was, as far as we're concerned, it was magic. So that's great to see. MDB is very strong in Delphix.
Yes. There you go. So one question, I guess maybe we should all do. So what are the Solaris technologies that are surprisingly useful? Maybe technologies you've had kind of that are more useful to you now than they were at Sun? And what are the storage technologies that you want to rip out more than ever? Short answer.
NDMP, one of those books?
NDMP, this will be the last, we've already shipped our last release that will support NDMP.
At all?
At all.
Schrock issued a fatwa.
I spent 6
But
months
you-
of my life implementing it
Yeah.
for at Delphix. And
So surprises, maybe like, gosh, I don't know. We're such grizzled veterans that nothing surprises us.
yeah.
I
I mean,
don't know.
Comstar?
Yeah, but we use that a lot.
We used it a lot, but it still sucks.
Yeah, yeah, it still sucks. That's what I was thinking too. Like we use Comstar a lot, but it's also the thing that I'd love to rip out.
Sure, yeah, that's fair.
So maybe that's a bad answer. Yeah, a lot of the Java debugging tools, a lot of our stacks are written in Java. So the work Schrock did as a young lad with the JVM DB and the stuff that we did with JStack is probably super useful.
Interesting, cool.
Yeah,
So
use that a lot.
you guys have nailed some really nasty bugs, not only using that, but also bugs
Pertaining to that
Pertaining to it,
implementation.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's very valuable.
Yeah.
Good. That's our 5+ minutes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.